My arms aren't quite that long.
You're being green.
So, guys, I'm recording what we're talking about on Ustream.
Oh, maybe I'll just in your way and I'll throw them.
Sweet. So no meeting notes are required?
Oh, it's Disneyland.
Yeah, no meeting notes required.
Disneyland was great.
Yeah, I see your perfect secretary forgot her book today.
Because Cars Land
That's
was
how
so busy.
unreliable.
Oh
We
my
ended
God.
up going to the other park,
Yeah.
the original park, and we got on every ride in like 2 minutes.
Nice.
There was no lines.
Where is it?
Michelle.
We were at Disneyland and
Rika,
they
nice to
opened
meet
up
you.
Cars Land where the new movie Cars, they have all Radiator Springs there. Because everybody was so obsessed with Cars and that was packed.
Oh, nobody was on anything
They were in
else.
Disneyland,
I
we
love
went
it.
over to Space Mountain, and we've got on 2 times in a row without waiting in a line at all. We walked right onto the car.
Just want to see if there's anybody that's.
I'd never done that before.
Never again in your
That's
lifetime,
nice.
right?
Yeah, take a picture of this.
How
This is
cool
gonna
is
happen.
that? I love
We
it.
did.
Well, school's back in session now,
Star
right?
Wars, no, Star Tours twice. Yeah, school was back in session for about half the kids,
Yeah.
and the other half started
So
next
it
week.
starts to quiet down a little bit.
Right.
Yeah.
So next week it will quiet down.
Yeah.
But my kids are in school, and I'm not going to yank them on the first day of school to Disneyland. So we had this window to go, and we
Good
have
move.
annual passes, and they're blocked during the summer.
Yeah, right.
So we got in for the
Good
first
move.
time this
Masha
week.
and Nikki.
It was great. We went 25 rides.
That's a lot.
Nice.
Just nonstop. One ride every
Wow.
Three people
That
there.
is
In
rare.
August.
That's what keeps me away from
Yeah.
Disneyland is the thought of all those lines and
Yeah.
slowing me
Probably
down.
Yeah.
been a 10 or
So,
12.
I'm not a
you know,
line
right from
eater.
most.
Me neither.
Every
I
time
think there's a
in the
line.
Yeah, you
I'm
always
out
miss
there.
I'm not that interested.
But if you walk down to go get on the ride, and you walk like 6 miles to get to the ride, because there's all the snakes
Yeah.
to get into the ride. And
Rides that I
then,
actually can go
we were
on.
jumping over the rope.
Yeah.
All the way down.
So do you have much need for a laptop when you have that set up?
Like contact with Dr. Klein.
I don't use my laptop for photo editing and stuff like that. I do it here.
Very nice, yeah.
Eileen,
Design,
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah, well, I guess you're.
yeah, Eileen
So is it
actually,
a mice and
used to
a
have Alice's job.
the application?
No,
And
it's not a mouse, it's
she
just
was gonna leave the company,
software not being available.
and then she was
Or
promoted,
if it is available, it doesn't do the range of
or she
things
was
that you would do on your.
recruited to take
So for example,
the
my
job that
mentor
she
worked on
has
picture
from someone else who was
which is-
promoted within the
I
organization.
don't
So she went from being
Like
the vendor to being the client. And she gets along very well with
Light a
her.
fire under
Because she,
whatever you
even though
need.
she has to be,
Get it going. Everything's
Yeah.
flash memory. And you?
she understands my wife because she's been there for
Health
10
and
years.
fitness and what?
In my wife's
And
job.
wellness. all your
So
Okay.
it's a good business.
As well as the software.
Okay.
There's 3 people for bowls.
Crazy how the world is changing.
Yes, and yes, and yes.
I
It's
know.
a full functioning.
I'm sorry?
right next door?
Rogan?
No, I parked on the street.
Ah, yes, it's good.
It's
Oh,
a full
the
functioning
old-
medical
But
clinic.
I'm facing the
Good
street.
job, yeah.
She's family practice,
Yeah.
but there's no children. About
Yeah.
30 to 40% of
Right.
Qualcomm employees in San Diego use that facility for things that
Seems
are
like a
not
good demographic.
special.
Fascinating spread of
She'll
expertise.
examine your knee when you
Yeah,
correct
no,
your knee.
It's a big range, but
And
But
all
then
right
if
now
you need a
is the same
specialist, she'll recommend a specialist to go down there.
well, that should represent fitness
PCPs
at a certain age.
And those people still use them
And that's good.
for the things that they need to. But a lot of them don't have one, and they'll just come straight to her. You know, guys especially.
It's something
You
new.
know, the doctor that often. It's easier just to go to the doctor at the office and not have to deal with
Whereas
it.
psychics will
Well, you know, of
tell
course,
I
you're
go
probably.
to the doctor, I just ask my wife. Then she tells me, come on, honey.
And it should be.
Here's a script.
I haven't tapped into that.
Yeah, if I'm lying on the floor and
We've
there's
had a lot of
a
conversations about her
wheeze
experience
withdrawal,
and what
a
she's
wheezing,
been dealing with in her
work
an open
around
wound,
what we see as
yeah,
sucking chest wound, she probably
And
don't
those
get
patterns tend to repeat even now.
Uh-huh.
So that's where it becomes valuable, being able to break.
No, my wife's a doctor, and she said, my wife tells me when I tell her something's wrong, she says, go see your doctor.
And that
I said, you're a doctor. She goes, yeah, but I'm
One of
not
my
a
clients
doctor. Go see your
has,
doctor.
we're working on.
I said, anything
How
short
short
of
of
that.
a year is.
I guess my question
What do they call it? Sucking chest
my
wound?
curiosity
Yeah,
is
she's not going to help you. Sucking chest wound is
if that pattern
probably
keeps,
broken bones, you know.
are we meant to break it? Are we meant to keep it going? I mean, is that when you.
There's no meant to, it's, you know, you
The
gotta look at
plug
it
in.
as a service.
Consistent need problem.
Is the pattern you're in, is the
Well,
belief
she
you
did give me
have,
stitches once.
You know, because she's,
It
is
was on a
whatever
Saturday.
paradigm you're living in.
because it's
Well,
knee,
she
knee
was,
surgery, it's not
she'd
feeling
just
very
come
well.
home from work,
Feels really
and I was
Yeah,
making
it is.
rocks.
Change.
And I dropped the beer bottle on the granite
I
counter, and I
really
grabbed the beer
don't
bottle
have high
before it hit
regard
the
for
counter,
surgery.
so I
It's a
thought,
solution for
but I
that.
caught it at the
Real
time of
quality
the counter, so I had to
Yeah.
protect my son.
Yeah.
And I
Because then you
sliced
touch
open
the
my
root of
thumb,
something, you
and
start to change all the
Yeah,
stuff
remember
that happens after that.
Oh, yeah,
it was
yeah.
right across
It's
the
like
street
now you
from
have
her.
an
I could still see the
awareness of
scar
where
I
it
had already
started,
left.
just like when you look at a childhood.
So I
movie,
put
you
pressure on
go,
it, she
"Oh,
walks in the door, I
it's
said,
not
honey, we gotta
here."
cancel swim lessons for the kids, I
Something
gotta go.
happens in the psyche where
Emergency.
it
Urgent
starts to
care.
now change.
And so she looked at it, and she
Awareness
goes,
of
Dad,
where it originated
bear it, deal with it.
seems to
She
have a
goes, I'll
lot to
stitch it up
do
later.
with changing or
She let my
or
kids finish the
freeing up
swimming lessons that she took me into
pattern
the
you're
office,
on. It
and
just works like
she
that.
stitched it up.
Yeah, I'm
She
curious
had
to know chemically
way
what's
too much
actually going on
pleasure
in our brain.
with the painkiller
Essentially
sticking
what
in
happens
you.
is-
And as
So
I
physics in there?
let out a shrill shriek,
Habit
you
and
know,
habit.
she's laughing at me.
So once you change the basic
Okay.
software.
She did a good job with it, but, you know, she had to
and
wait
you
too
start
much.
Okay.
moving, once you create a new thought,
Okay.
and you believe it,
Okay.
and then you start to move with that, and the key is to start to move with that, and bring it into your life.
7.
Then the habits
Okay.
begin to shift and
Alright.
change, and then the chemicals that are generated start
We
to
have a lot
change
of,
too.
we actually have the same demographic.
Because that's always
I like that midlife.
the chemicals.
I'm probably not working with people in the 90s.
Whereas
I
those
look
who
more
look at
like
only
40s,
science,
60s.
look at the
But I like that
chemicals,
kind. Yeah.
they don't realize that the body is actually
forgot to get my
operating
message.
origin of chemicals, and it will produce whatever. So if you look at happiness is not something you're shifting by shifting the chemicals.
Right,
Chemicals
right.
within your brain.
Right, so he
Right.
just did his,
Antidepressant or whatever.
Well, you guys,
But if you go back to the root and
What?
change
Why
that,
have you brought us here?
or beliefs and
let's
thoughts and
pull
ideas,
ourselves together.
then
Let's
change
pull
it forever.
ourselves together. I hate to interrupt Guru Rohit, but Martine is bringing in the last of our sheep out front. But Martine and I were part of the first group, as well as Mary. Anne, sorry, I always have Mary in my head, which is why I'm reluctant to say your name, because I know it's not right, but I can't, Anne isn't right there. I'm so sorry. We had this idea, actually Martine was the sort of founder of the idea, which is let's just pull ourselves together to use Blog Talk Radio, which is an existing online turnkey broadcasting studio, essentially. It has everything. We could, if we wanted to, just go on to Blog Talk Radio, get a half an hour for free, and start broadcasting our own radio show. Any of us could do that. But his idea was to sort of form ourselves together as a consortium and use each other's, use each other as incentive, use each other as interview an audience, use each other as motivation to get our shows launched, and brainstorming, creative, pool, all of that. In addition to, once we're launched, we all run under a banner, and that banner is somewhere around, you know, helping people to live their best life. And we've got a couple of attempts at titles for that. We'd have our own URL, and all of our profiles and all of our radio shows and all of our topics would live on that website. And then we would all run our own show, our own broadcast. That might be an hour a week, that might be an hour a month, whatever that looks like for you. But that we would all sort of join in together and create the power of sort of a station, not just our own one voice kind of hollering out in the wind. And that we could also sort of use each other to try and grow our audiences, because we all have our own people that we're connected to. And since the show is going to be a resource, you know, that helps people to live their best life, probably all of the people we're connected to would be interested. Hi, how are you? Good to see you again. Would be interested in listening to whatever's being broadcast on this station, you know, that has its regular hours, regardless of who's airing their broadcast. So we could probably, that with comfort, you know, I like the idea that with comfort, we could turn anybody on to those broadcast hours. If it turns out to be, you know, this block of time every Thursday, regardless of who's filling it, we know the content is around helping and service and growth and change and support and understanding yourself and all that. Hi, Asha.
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So that's the basic idea. And we met together once as a group of 5, and we met together again as another group of 5. And we said what we'd really like ideally is a group of somewhere between 10 to 15 people that want to do this, that all could live under that banner, all have their own idea of a show, and that we could probably get a membership at, I think right now we're looking at under $40, like $39. $39, which gives us a fair amount of airtime. What we're wanting is to get a block of time that's consistent. So it's like every Tuesday and Thursday from whatever to ever, and
$39 is in what period of time?
that $39 is a monthly fee that would be divided by the total group.
I don't know if
So-
I can afford that.
Yeah, right, yeah. So, okay,
We're
you're
gonna charge
right.
you, you're 38, everybody else is gonna break $1 up.
A nickel a piece, okay.
That's right.
Why would you need so many people then if it's so affordable?
Well, you missed the whole opening
I'm
speech.
sorry, I was lost.
This is
Was that good?
Nikki's actually gonna do an hour on time management.
I was lost.
She was. This is it's easy to find once you're here, but when you're not here,
Yeah.
is that why don't we do the, go over why we're,
We should have recorded it.
so, it's actually recorded, we actually
I
recorded
didn't
it.
record what you were
You
saying.
recorded what I just said?
Yeah, we're recording
Oh, it was
everything.
really good.
Well, do you want to just play it back? Because
Oh,
I
wow.
really covered the whole thing.
Well, no, yeah, no, if you tell us, okay.
I'm a bottom line person, I can get just the bottom line.
Well, so it's absolutely true. You could go on Blog Talk Radio, which is an existing turnkey tool. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah.
Okay. And you could go get a half an hour for free on your own broadcaster show. But the idea that Martine really founded was that if we pull ourselves together and we all work under one banner, and all of us being providers of help, growth, change, support for people who are trying to live into their fullest being, that we sort of have the power of a station, not just one voice. And that we're really loving the idea that we could create a reliable block of time that all of us could forward all of our people to. You know, that every Thursday for these 2 hours, something is airing that will be helpful to you. And that we all become a consortium of providers, and we can also all support each other in being potential interviews if they're talk shows, by helping each other creatively to form your content, just helping us in terms of momentum to get the shows launched, which is something I've been thinking of for a year and still haven't done it. Rohit and I have talked about this for at least a year and still haven't done it. So I feel like when Martine came to me, I thought, I'll finally get the damn show launched, you know, because there's this momentum, and that we can also communicate to our own people, our lists, our databases, to support and help each other grow audiences, which is more than any of us can do on our own.
Yeah, so it's
Absolutely.
basically like the power of the group, of the team
Yeah.
working on it versus power of just only one person.
Right.
Well, sure, how
Do
many,
you know?
if each of us has 500 contacts, just 500 between
Exactly.
Facebook, LinkedIn, and other social media outlets, we have thousands among us.
So we should be happy that actually the social media is so affordable, you know, not complain about the price, you know,
Oh,
it's
sure.
perfect.
Right?
I don't care if we eat, you know.
yeah.
So, yeah.
There's also a concept that I came up with called the Power of 16 that I'm creating still, and I think Steve, I think we've spoken about it. The Power of 16, what the idea was is a network, and what we do is we use each other's social media to brag about the other person. So rather than me get on my social media and say how great I am or whatever, all you guys would do it on my media, as well as we'd all brag about each other. And I think that really gives something else to, you know, bring something else. And the way we're going to set it up is that it would be automatic, so that you're not having to do that every day. That we're going to set up a system. I'm still working with a company to do that, to set up a system that we would just ahead of time, we'd say on Tuesday, Ann and Rico was going to have a show. So on everybody's social media, something would go out saying, hey, check out my friend's show tonight. Ann's talking about so-and-so from 6 to 6:30, and Rico from 6:30 to 8 o'clock is talking about fitness or something, you know, whatever that is. And then, like you said, Steve, you can imagine that going out to 10 people, that's 5, and did only have 500 people, that's 5,000.
Yeah.
That's 5,000 notices, notifications of something going on. I think that's truly what we call social media, and what we really call that, you know, an organic growth.
And the other thing I think about is that when we figure out what that banner is that we're all operating under, we are pitching, you know, Thrive Talk Radio or Possibility Radio or whatever it is that this banner is going under, which actually becomes a little easier to get some momentum on, I think, than just one host who's doing one show on one topic. If we're saying, check out who's hosting the next show on Thrive Talk Radio, you know, it's going to be, you know, a whole thing on sleep psychology or whatever, you know, is the topic of the day. It's like it's branding a whole network, which I think has got more force than.
I think you're right, yeah.
Yeah.
And part of getting ourselves together is to be able to come up with these ideas. I spoke to somebody from Utah yesterday that she's interested in doing. She's an author, and she came up with these really interesting ideas, and I was like, wow, that's what we're gonna do, is us getting together and mastermind. We're gonna be able to come up with ideas that 2 or 3 of us couldn't come up with.
Actually, I have another name for our radio. It's a Power of the Team Radio or Power of Your Team Radio.
Nice.
Just like that when we were talking. This is sweet. It's nice.
It is. It is. You can already feel the force.
Right, exactly.
Force me with you.
When I talked to you on the phone, you said it's all about a positive vibe.
Yes.
How about that? A positive vibe.
Yeah, well, one of the
That's
things you have to do is one of the things we have to do is actually find if it's available, and I think that's important.
Yeah,
you know,
sure.
Well, here's, and while we were talking, ideas pop into your head. Every one of us, if you're a real professional, you listen to motivational or professional development audios. Everybody go home and listen to an audio on the way home, and on one of those audios is the name of this group.
Oh, I've already done that.
You know what I mean?
I've been kind of stealing the ones,
Yeah, it's
that's
you-
the ones that I put on Facebook.
I liked your ideas, and what we're doing in terms of trying to identify that banner is all of us who are now on that Facebook page, that private Facebook page that all of you have been invited to. Are you aware of that?
I think
No?
everybody's.
So I think everybody's
On
in
it.
it, that's in
Except
this
for Phil.
room. And if you're not familiar with private groups on Facebook, it's just a column on the left side of your homepage, and it will say Radio Network, Radio something network.
Yeah, it's called.
It's just Radio Network, isn't it?
Radio, there's 3.
Radio Station Network.
Radio Station Network, and just click on that, and that's our private group. Nobody else can see the conversations that are going on there. And we've actually started, you know, this is where you post your ideas for a name for our banner. Keeping in mind what the concept
You're in,
is.
Phil.
It's this, you know, helping to serve the community people who are looking to change, grow, live up to their full potential, that kind of thing. Most of us are teachers, guides, coaches, mentors, authors, speakers, presenters, like that, right?
Yes.
Just make a request that we actually do a quick introduction as to what our names are. I want to be able to get some name associations.
Yeah, absolutely. When's our broadcast time, Martine?
In 8 minutes.
We got 8
We got
minutes.
8 minutes to go.
And even if we don't start right on
It'll be
at
totally
8, we'll
fine,
be
yeah.
fine, right? Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Question,
Oh.
also if we can identify what our main focus is,
Yeah.
so that we can brainstorm while we're listening.
Because that's going to help me understand what the big umbrella is. That's
Yeah,
going to be
yeah.
bonding the whole
Okay.
group together.
Good.
Um,
Why don't you start?
Yeah, no problem starting. My name's Brian Conlon. I'm a personal and business coach in training right now. I'm currently getting a certification in the Enneagram, which is kind of the flavor I wish to bring to this, which is a personality type indicator system that helps people have more compassion and empathy for other people's viewpoints. And it's a system that exists, and I facilitate bi-weekly meetups that actually Charlie's been to.
Yeah.
And it's my wish to kind of bring that to the radio station.
Outstanding.
Could you say your name again?
Brian
Connor?
Conlon, C-O-N-L-O-N.
Hey, we all have cards we could pass.
Want to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, those as well.
I'm Dr. Charlie Freeman. My background is a PhD in psychology, and my specialty is in behavioral medicine, so treating insomnia and sleep, in particular nightmares. I help people with claustrophobia to CPAP for obstructive sleep apnea, but oftentimes concurrent anxiety, depression, trauma, etc. I've treated irritable bowel syndrome and diverticulitis and pain disorders, migraines, etc. that are behavioral medicine with hypnosis and other cognitive behavioral therapies.
I'm Stephen Colucci, and among other things, I want to help veterans. I have several internet commerce businesses, but one of the things that Dr. Nikki talked to me about a while ago is actually chasing what it is that's really important to you. The irony is about a week before, and I had written out my goals, a week before I got a call from Martine, I had written down in my goals to research Blog Talk Radio and find charitable organizations to create my own radio show, from which all the proceeds that I generated would go to veterans charities. And then I was reading it that morning, and that afternoon, Friday, Martine calls me and says, I want to do a radio show. And your timing is impeccable. So,
And
right now,
then I
Good.
spoke up and I said, I'm looking for contacts for veterans to help them overcome PTSD, and that's when you and I got connected.
that's right. And I referred her to somebody who works heavily with veterans charities and PTSD.
Yeah,
So,
and I'm gonna meet with him tomorrow, by the way.
you are with Mike?
Yeah,
Terrific.
thank you.
So, my whole goal is to create this awareness to the challenges that veterans face when they return and their families face while they're away, or if they pass away. Things like homelessness, unemployment, and mental illness that they have to deal with. And so I've already started talking to several of the charities and people I know that participate in it to try and help bring notice to that.
I'm Michelle Zwicker. I am a life and business coach and fire starter. My website is liveuptoyourpotentialnow.com. And yeah, what else do you need to know? That's good, right?
One of your shows where you're going to be.
Yeah, well, since we got started on this a little earlier, you know, I currently do a group coaching and accountability program that runs every month called Get It Done in 30 Days Challenge. And one of my ideas for one of my broadcasts is, and I have to look into the logistics of this, is to bring one of those Get It Done in 30 Day challenges onto a live call each month with a different group invited in for free. And in that group coaching call, it's an hour per week for a whole month. The group stays together for a month, around 10 people, and we walk them through everything that they're encountering in terms of progress and obstacles around meeting their goals and intentions. So it was one of my ideas for a broadcast show, and I've got a couple of others that are brewing too, since we've been talking about it.
Martin, don't let me forget about the website.
Okay.
At the end, just remind me.
My name is Rico Camellia, and I'm the creator of the Ageless Living Lifestyle. That's my brand. I've been a health and fitness and longevity trainer for like 31 years, actually, here in San Diego. And I've written about 15 books on health and wellness and longevity. And you know, it's funny, I had the same experience. Just yesterday, I was on Health Talk Radio. You know that WS radio, the internet radio?
Yeah.
I was just on there with Jerry Graff, interviewed me for an hour. And one of my friends just said, Rico, you should have your own radio show. Just yesterday, same thing. And then I get Martine's call.
And see, when you put it
I'm
out
sorry,
there,
I didn't know that.
it comes true.
Oh, is that Rico?
Yeah, I was just on Health Talk Radio on WS Internet yesterday.
Uh-huh.
Guy interviewed me for an hour with it. And my friend told me, hey, it was really good. He says, you should have your own radio show.
Oh, man.
I said,
Rico.
yeah. And then
That's funny.
And then I go home and I get your message and it says, hey, we're talking about a radio show.
Rico, do you know how many times I called you? I've called you like
Yeah,
7 or 8 times and
then
you didn't leave a message.
No,
I'm like, I want to talk to Rico, I want to talk to Rico, yeah.
No, but then
That's
you
funny.
didn't get back to me though. Yeah, it is really funny.
Yeah.
Just like you said, you know?
That's great.
It's also one of my main goals is, you know, I'm kind of really big, as you all know, we're facing as humanity some major, huge challenges in the world. And of course, environmental is one of the biggest ones, you know, so that's one that I'm really, really passionate about. So what I'm trying to teach people, and one of my main messages is that I think there's like 3 major movements that's going on in the world right now. There's like the green environmental movement, and then there's the wellness movement, and then the spirituality movement. So I'm trying to tie these all together. And the way I tie them all together is, you know, being a trainer with all these people for all these years, I always wonder, why do people have such a hard time sticking with a health and fitness or wellness program? I just, you know, because that's just what I do, so it's hard for me to understand that. So I kind of realized finally that it's kind of a disconnect between our spiritual self and our physical self, and there's really no separation. You guys all know that stuff, you know. So I try to teach people that if you realize that we're just spiritual beings here for a purpose on earth, right? And our physical body is our vehicle to do whatever our purpose is, what we're here to do, then you'll realize, hey, my physical body is my vehicle, I better take the best care I can of it. But anyway, so a short part of it is that, so the way I connect the 3 of them, if we're going to build Skagit as a global community to meet these environmental problems, we need a global population of healthy, energetic, well-informed people, right?
Mhm.
So that's where the wellness comes in. So we need healthy, well people in order to meet these challenges, and we need people to get in more spiritual so they'll actually be well, so we can meet these challenges. So that's kind of what I'm trying to do.
Beautiful.
Excellent.
Very cool.
Convergence, that word's been coming up for me a lot lately.
Convergence?
Convergence, which is this interesting, it's like, you know, if you really tap into your interests, they're not necessarily in perfect symmetry, like it doesn't make total, well, but you know, like we hear the world say you gotta pick this, you gotta pick this, you gotta pick this. I'm actually more attracted now to convergence. Like you're drawn to three disparate things and finding how they converge together to make your unique
Right.
message.
Right. Exactly right.
Very cool.
Well put.
I'm gonna be really short, fast,
Okay.
and quick. I'm Ann Ferguson. I'm an integrative life coach with Amy Ford's organization. I'm certified in her blueprint coaching model, which is all about the shadow. Someone was there nodding away. Obviously, you're familiar. And my passion and my niche is working with women to help them to redefine their lives. That's it.
Terrific. Nikki?
I'm Dr. Nikki Goldman. I do clinical hypnosis. WS Radio, speaking of that, many years ago, I did a radio show on there, and I have a copy of it, and so I've been using that, you know, to just promote myself. It came in real handy. They just gave me a copy of it. I've done some other radio. Radio is fabulous because you really reach people who are listening as opposed to being distracted by what things look like. And when they listen, it reaches them, I think, a little bit deeper. So anyway, that's what I do.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Asia Mankowska, and actually I'm a life coach for business, career and relationship. And my website, welcome to check me out, www.yourfavorite-lifecoach.com. Of course, I'm your favorite, so here you go. Born and raised in Poland, my background is basically in law. I have a law degree, I have linguistics and master's in journalism. So basically when Martin approached me on San Diego Alliance to tell me about the radio, I'm like, of course, you know, I had my own radio show in Warsaw, in Poland, so that was perfectly, you know, fine with me. I was happy to hear it. And who I'm working with? I'm working with professionals and business owners who, let's say attorneys or new business owners who are stuck or feeling trapped in their situation. Either it's a career, business, right, or relationship. Or actually, when I was doing family law and divorcing people, I realized that, you know, divorcing is lovely, but not exactly what I want to do. It's damage people's life. So I start counseling them and coaching them on a relationship and other way to approach it. What else? No, I think that will be it.
That's plenty.
Oh, really? I can go on and on, can you hear me?
No, that's
That's just the tip of the iceberg.
How are we doing for the 8 minutes?
Oh, I guess my next in the corner here? Okay, sorry we're a bit late and missing out on the festivities. My appointment went late. I'm actually a psychic. I do psychic readings.
Your name?
Efren C-Cat.
Efren?
Efren. I do psychic readings for the last 7 years. I didn't know I had this gift. I know we all have it. I just had a master to train me how to fine-tune it and take it to the next level. And it was about me taking to making an income out of it. So I'm really blessed for that. But I actually was interested in radio because of Martine. I had 2 offers, but they didn't pan out. One of the local radio stations, morning producers for 92.5, but they never had a psychic named Gary Spivey, so I can't bump them out. And then,
I know Gary.
unless I kind of food poisoning or whatever, something like that. So I can't do a show.
You can't do that to a psychic, he knows it's coming.
Yeah, he's getting too big, so he needs the night. I talked to someone who's in the local Z90, and I actually do readings for that station behind the scenes. And so when Martin approached me, I did a couple internet radio with Out of the Closet, a couple of shows with them. It was interesting, it was fun. I had people call in, and basically what I do is it's like a life coach, but I tell them find what their path is and to try to see how they can achieve their path in this lifetime, and what lessons they need to learn, and so I thought I could branch out, and also network with everybody here too. Wow, you do this? Oh, wow, you do that. Instead of my own circle.
Reference one of those guys, he's one of my favorite people in the whole world. An incredible singer and musician. He's incredible. You're up there too.
And he knows what you're thinking before you
He does,
say it.
he does. You wanna go, Phil?
Yeah, you know, Martine just said, hey, look, you ought to come down.
Get
and
your butt over
this
here,
thing." He's already come like that. You know, I'm a full-time real estate broker. I'm launching a book, an ebook that I've got, you know, almost done right now, on how to make a six-figure income without a college degree. And I won't go into that right now, but one of the things that I'm really passionate about is what Rico's talking about, and that is health. And that we have an obesity epidemic. And you know, the standard technologies right now are the same old stuff. Exercise and diet, maybe a little bit of, you know, mental stuff, but, you know, it doesn't work. We're getting fatter and fatter. It's just terrible. And my wife has a company, or is part of a company that is coming out with some genetic technology that will flip the switch on your fat genes. And I think that that's something that is going to be a game changer. So I think probably, you know, one of the things that I would really like to focus on is the, you know, changing, you know, our relationship with food.
You mentioned that. I mentioned that I was in Disneyland, and we've had a conversation about my weight routine and talked about that. She's really a great resource. But while I was walking around, going to Disneyland makes you feel really, really thin.
Walmart does the same thing. You don't have to go all the way to Anaheim.
Walmart's great for that.
Oh, yeah.
Walmart?
Walmart, you'll feel better about yourself.
There must have been 300 or 400 people that I spotted, just the ones I spotted, that were double weight. Not just overweight, but double, maybe triple weight. There were people in line that there was no way they could get on the ride.
That's what's taken our healthcare system down. You know, that if we don't get a handle on obesity, all the health issues that rise out of that are, you know, it's not a matter of, oh, you might get a heart attack, or you might become diabetic, or, you know, you might need your knees replaced. It's
When?
Yeah, it's when.
Mhm.
Absolutely when.
The name of the book I wrote is called Success for the Diet Dropout, Strategies for Women Who Want to Stop Hating Their Bodies. And I address, to me, it's a three-pronged process. It's a societal, which I see lots of changes societally. I mean, even McDonald's now, you can eat very healthy all the time. And societal, it's psychological, and it's physical. And I talk about all that in my book, so.
We have a collaboration there.
Yeah.
Yes,
You know,
it's
but
wonderful.
But the one thing that's missing is that genetically, we have fat genes that say, no matter how much you cut down, and how much you exercise, and how much, you know, that Rico works with you, that if you're genetically predisposed to hang on to the fat, you will actually lose lean muscle mass before you let go of the fat. And so, if
We should probably not go
Let's
too
not
far
debate it.
down
Let's
this
not
track
debate
right
it.
now.
This is
Let's
another
go on
one.
to our next
Rohit.
discussion.
Say hi to the camera.
Hey, hi. I trained in spiritual psychotherapy, in past life regression, clinical hypnotherapy, life and coaching, and now reincarnating myself as an author. And my book is called Loving Soulfully. It's about relationships from a spiritual perspective. It's actually Loving Soulfully, and so far the byline goes, the key to love that never hurts, never dies, and never leaves. So that's the issue that I'm addressing in there. It's a book of poetic prose with photographs. I turned into a photographer in the process. And the show that I'd like to focus on, one will be around relationships from a spiritual perspective, and two will be about spirituality and practical ways to live a spiritual life and to have that experience in everything you do. So I follow a very unconventional practice, and whatever I teach is something that I live. So that's another key part of what I bring to the table, is that I don't just talk about it, I live it.
That's great. Walk the talk. Nice.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it sounds like a relationship with yourself is the key to this.
Exactly.
Yourself and source. That becomes the alliance
You know,
that you
an
create.
authentic coach.
Let's keep going, guys.
Yeah.
That's great, thank you.
We keep going down into a really fascinating group of people.
We
We
definitely
should be at a cocktail party,
Exactly.
really.
We'll bring cocktails next time.
White Marty.
So I found out about this at 6:20. I'm still kind of absorbed what's going on here. I'm Milo Shapiro. I'm a coach in public speaking. It kind of found me. I didn't find it. I quit my job in over 15, 20 years of IT. They started a team building course based in improvisation because I've been doing improv on the set for many years. You know who I am? Great.
Yes.
That's one. I just need like a few million more like that. And
I know you too.
I know you too.
We got 3, yay!
I took
Tripled
his
your
courses,
following.
Yeah,
very good. I
you did.
took, there was a one-time,
Where?
I don't remember, somewhere down there.
Oh, how funny. Okay, well, we'll catch up on that
Yeah,
afterwards.
yeah.
So I was doing the team building work, and I still do, and then that led to me doing motivational speaking at conferences, because people said, you gotta get out and speak to bigger groups than just, 10 and 15 at a time. And I got the whole, 300 people in the room, they're all playing the improv games as part of my keynotes. That was supposed to be the end of the business. But then in 2004, people started coming up to me after my speeches and saying, would you work with me on my speaking? Would you come in and work with my staff on their speaking? I had a Toastmasters background, and I was good at it, and it came sort of naturally to me, but I've never trained anyone. So I was saying no. But when the 5th and 6th and 7th person was asking, the spiritual guy here would say, hello, you're kicking the universe away here. It's just dumping it in your lap. So finally I said to someone, let's see what happens. And in a matter of 4 visits, we took him from almost being, he was told he was going to be canceled on QVC if he didn't pick up his sales immensely. And he was really bad on camera, he just didn't know it. And with just 3 or 4 visits, we turned it around to the point where in his 7-minute time slot, he sold out in 5 of those minutes. And if you know QVC, they don't let you sell out. They make you have a lot of product on hand. So for the last 2 minutes, they sold his plant food, which wasn't even the thing. He was selling his plants. They switched to his plant food. They didn't even have any plant food. They just knew they could get some. So I was like, maybe I do have a skill for this. So that's 2004. Since then, I've helped, I don't know how many people, but certainly over 100 with coaching in this area. I've written a book, Public Speaking, Get A's, not Z's. Don't put your audiences to sleep.
Oh, that's cute.
And what kind of caught me off guard was when the San Diego Bar Association got a hold of the book, they said, we love it, please come in and give a speech about the book. So now I'm speaking on speaking. So it just keeps kind of evolving. But much as I love the team building and the motivational speaking when I can get out and do it, this has really been where I've become very passionate about helping people find their voice, figure out how to be the next best version of them, not turn them into me, not turn them into Oprah, not turn them into whoever they think they should be, but be the next best version of them. Whether that means taking the things about them that need to be that are good and showing that more, and then fixing the other things, helping them tell stories more effectively, use their voice to the best of their abilities, whatever that comes out to be. So how that relates to radio, like I said, I had 10 minutes to think about that on the way.
Okay, good enough.
It's obvious to everybody else.
Yeah.
Is that right? Is it obvious?
Absolutely,
It's gonna be clear.
Yeah.
You're our coach here. My name's Martin Lopez. My background is in spiritual psychology. I went to the University of Santa Monica and studied spiritual psychology for a few years, as well as just a ton of personal work and a life filled with some pretty amazing adventures, some good ups and some good downs. And I am a founder, and I tell people this. And what a founder is somebody that thinks of something but doesn't do anything about it. So I got these really great ideas. So what I realized about a month and a half ago is that to be a founder, I need to surround myself with people that actually can make things work, as opposed to trying to do things myself. And then I brought the idea of the radio station to the San Diego Professional Coaches Alliance. It didn't really move in the direction that I would have wanted it to go as far as the support. And so we had a meeting, and it seemed that more people that were not in the alliance actually showed up and were more interested. So with Michelle's support, we just said, let's just open this thing up, and then we're here now, and it's amazing to have this many people here, and I'm really, really grateful.
And this sounds like a cool radio station, doesn't it?
Yes.
I mean, really,
Yeah.
all the different takes that we would have on our conversation, it would be fascinating.
Really nice variety.
Really
You know
nice
what struck me
variety.
is, I really like to network with all you guys. I like
Absolutely.
That's
Well,
part of what
we're
we're
a
gonna do,
community
too.
as well,
Sure, we all
yeah.
have services to pool together and work
Yeah.
with each other.
Yeah.
I think that brings up a really important point, to really take time to be together, and connect.
Support each other.
Support
Yeah.
each other and
I think it's
develop
important too
friendships.
to work too. I think a big thing is working, like actually getting and digging in on people's show to support each other to create content and actually help formats. And I think that's gonna
Right.
be a really, really important part,
We are
as well as the
mastermind
social.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mastermind.
this is absolutely, yeah, and that's what, if you saw online, I put mastermind also, is I think that is exactly what we are. I'm gonna do 2 shows. I'm gonna do one called Nonviolent Weight Loss. And then the other one is going to be
Violent weight loss.
non-violent weight loss.
Oh, the other one's good.
The other,
Yeah, that one's good.
whichever way you like it, we got it.
Yeah, so I'm with Rico, doing violent weight loss. How old are you, Rico?
I'm not old.
How many years have you been on
I'm
here?
younger, you
70.
Amazing.
Shut up.
Shut
It's
up.
amazing.
No.
He's like, what are you, like you're a 17-year-old? What is your health? Is 17 years old or something?
Pardon me?
What is your health?
70
Your
years
health?
young.
Fitness age,
Fitness ages.
22.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Wow.
Wow.
What a coincidence.
And then the
My
other
fitness age is 70.
And I'm 22. My other show is going to be Conscious Choosing, and it's I do a seminar. It's called Conscious Choosing for Flow, and basically walking through the modules of conscious choosing. And so let's. Anybody have any questions before we kind of get
You know,
show the
I have a
show?
question about Blog Talk,
Yeah.
because I go into Blog Talk to listen to a lot of things that have been have already been recorded.
Yes.
And the idea of I like the idea that, there's like a live time, but the thing of like with Charlie, what he has to say about sleep is something that if somebody isn't there, if they're not awake.
It'd be better for the insomniac hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Like 2 a.m. they can
Yeah.
listen to it then, yeah.
And so if,
It all goes into archives.
yeah.
Get them away from
Yeah, all the
stuff
shows
like
get
BBC.
archived automatically, it's part of their system.
If it's online or something, and you can say, oh, wow,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can listen to it 24/7.
Pardon me?
There's so much that'll go into that.
You
I mean,
can
that
have
is-
access to
there's
them.
So much of that.
Once
We're gonna
it's
get-
aired live, you have access
Yeah.
to it as an archive, and like any library of any media,
Can
you
you
can
also
select whatever you
download them
want.
later on
Yes.
for your own purposes? Yeah.
They'll actually, we're actually gonna move everything and set it up so that everything goes directly to iTunes. And it
Great.
goes,
And so it can
we
be
are-
broadcasted?
everything will have an RSS feed, so there's so much of that that I don't know about that I'm sure we'll get somebody that say,
Does it help you do that? Make it into a podcast?
yes, it does.
That'd be great to have it as a
Yeah,
podcast.
it does.
Do you have anybody in mind?
There was a guy, Giovanni, somebody from EE, that said he was gonna be here, he's not here, and,
Well, the reason I ask is
Yeah.
because my new endeavor, and this was a means to an end, I needed to make an income, we've had that conversation as well. I'm working for New Horizons Computer Learning Centers. So I'm surrounded by,
Congratulations,
thanks,
yeah,
I'm account rep for North County.
nice.
We are surrounded by people with ponytails and pocket protectors.
I love those guys.
And we need them, so.
That's right.
They
They don't hit a baseball good, but they sure hit the,
I didn't know they were points.
That's great, and part of what we were talking about, and I think I've told everybody, that really the initial fee to do this is gonna really be, we're gonna divide up what it costs. But hopefully, really hopefully within a month or two, we're gonna be everybody kicking 40 or 50 bucks so that we can actually launch a website so that we can actually do all these things that we really wanna do, so that we can individually monetize it. I think what we wanna do is really, the beginning of anything is you wanna dig your heels in, and you just wanna, develop some traction, and that's what we can do at kind of a really core level. We can develop that traction, but once we start taking 2 or 3 steps, it's gonna be a natural progression to go to the next level, which is, let's build a custom website that has our pictures, has our links, and to start to use all those other sources that are available to
So
us.
how technology savvy do I need to be in
Well,
order
okay, why don't we go do it? Why don't we, let's just go and let's do a
I think
show,
I've shared
okay?
with you.
So why don't you come over here and,
On a scale of 1 to 10, you need to be like 2. It's
So-
very simple.
Probably do
You
with
just
that.
gotta talk
So-
good.
I'm not a technology gal, don't wanna be,
Super
don't
simple.
care to be.
And once you figure out how to do it, when somebody walks you through the steps,
Yeah,
it's
I'm
not
fine.
technical.
Fine.
Yeah, the interface is made so it's
so let's do
really
this right now. Why don't we do this right now? Guys, why don't we do this right now? So, Ann, why don't you come do the show?
Okay, what am I supposed to say?
You're gonna come up here and do it. Get your phone, do you have your phone?
No, I have my cell phone.
Your cell phone?
That's all you
Okay,
need.
that's all you need.
Yep.
Yeah, what am I?
Yeah, you just
Okay.
didn't think you had your house phone with you.
Yeah.
Are you gonna be a call-in guest?
Yeah, so I can take, what do I take? Let me see, why
I'm
don't
gonna be
we,
the comic release of the group, I guess.
No doubt.
what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have you, I'm gonna have you guys.
Steven, what do you need, I guess?
Guys, can I have your attention, please? So what we're gonna do is this kind of just get focused on this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and launch the show right now, so everybody can see how easy it is. Then what we're gonna do is we'll walk to my office, and then in my office, we'll go ahead and log into the show, so you'll be able to see that's listening to the show, you know, how it kind
Nice.
of works, and then you can call back and do all that. So
Nice.
we only have about, looks like we only have about 15 minutes to go, so I scheduled it for 45 minutes. Okay, so come on over. I don't
Can
know
you
if I'm-
start from the
15 minutes
beginning so
left.
that someone like her can see it right from the get-go, you know, like.
Yes, this is, okay. Okay, so let me log out. So let's just go to Blog Talk Radio. So
Yeah,
here's,
I walk up to my computer, it's time to do my show. This
Okay.
is what I'm gonna do.
yes, go ahead and walk up to the computer.
Yes, I can do that.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay, so, your computer would automatically be logged in. Do you see how it's logged in right there?
Yes.
We're gonna have one name for the show. Right now it says Friends of Success, but that's just what I signed up under. So for right now, let's say for the next month, we'll call it Friends of Success as we do our test runs, okay?
So that's
And
the
then we can
username?
change it. So so you're already logged in, and you can connect via Facebook or different ways. We'll figure out a general code for everybody, okay? So you're logged in. So let's go up to the top right where it says Friends of Success and just put the cursor on top of. Don't click anything. Just put the cursor on top.
Well, that's the other thing that I don't do well is a mouse.
That's
I
okay.
don't think with that, where
You're
am I
gonna
going?
get good at it. So let's just go right on top of where it says Friends of Success.
I don't even see where it says that.
I'm sorry, it's really close. Why don't you use this computer down here? You can use this computer down here.
Well, this is, what do you mean? This is
Why don't you
computer
look down
music.
here?
Screen.
Why don't you look
Oh,
down
yeah,
here?
yeah, yeah.
You're gonna click right there.
Okay, got
Okay.
it, I got it.
Okay, now see it says, so it says scheduled episode, studio, your account. Okay, and what we did is we just went here. That's fine.
Okay.
So let's go back there.
It takes a minute.
It takes a second, yeah, it
okay,
does, it does. Okay, then what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on studio. Okay, go back on there.
Okay,
Okay, we're gonna click on studio new.
okay.
That's all you do, now you're in the studio. I've only done this once, so I'm not a master at it, but I think I made enough mistakes. So it says on the air, so let's say broadcasting, it should say, waiting for host. So a host has to call in, so take your phone and call that number. There's a phone number up there, you see it says 213, I can't see anything.
943.
343.
Martine, is it a different number for the host than it is for the call-in? people?
Yes.
Yeah.
It will be.
So we're not talking to our microphone at home, we're talking
You
to our
can,
cell
you can
phone?
Skype in. You can do either way. You can do it on a phone, you can do it either way.
What's the second number over there? There's one
Okay,
number.
then there's
It's
gonna
the
be
audience calling number.
That's the audience.
there's gonna be a number that you have
Host
to
pin.
hit. Sorry. Yeah, then you're gonna hit your pin.
Yeah,
So you'll
So
do that.
I
You have to
have to-
listen in and then it'll ask
It's
you.
the number next to the clock she's dialing.
Yeah.
So the 341264, blah, blah, blah.
So then you hit the
Guys,
pin
this is
number.
just a really fast demo. When it
Yeah.
comes time to really do this,
What
you know,
is-
we could probably put more,
I
there's
got
a
a
training video
recording.
for this.
It says, I'm sorry, we did not get something, something.
Okay, let me see. Are we on the air?
I'm sorry, but I did not hear you press at least 4 digits of your PIN number.
Okay, so let's go ahead and
Need a
reload
pin
it.
number.
Computer
There's a
simulated
pin
version.
number.
Okay, so I just have to put that in.
It's a computer trying to make it sound like it's British.
And you're not on the air yet.
3166.
The 10 British.
No, you have to call in the phone number.
Oh, I have to
And
do
then you
that
have to call
again?
in the pin number.
Oh, I have to do it all over.
I'm
Okay,
doing
got
business and
it.
personal coaching, but
So what you guys are doing, what she's doing first is she calls in on the phone number.
Personality assessment tool.
So you call in the phone number, and then once you get the phone number, then you just put your pin in. And that's what she's doing right now.
You have to have a personal pin or is this a generic
It gives you the pin. When you go to the show, it tells you, see it right up there, it tells you the phone number you call in
Okay.
and the pin you hit.
There's-
Where's the, yeah,
You see that up there?
I see the number 213.
So
That's
it's gonna prompt me for the pin though, right?
It should, yeah.
Perfect.
Can you put on the speakerphone maybe?
Yeah, hang on just a sec. 3166.
And if anybody wants to be a caller to call in. you can
What's
call
the
in.
number to call in?
It's 914-338-0032.
Oh, that was the number she was dialing.
Okay,
Asked
so
you
I
if she
put
was
it
done
in,
next to the
but it
clock.
doesn't seem to be taking
Let
it.
me do it, let me try it then.
Yeah,
Okay, so let's go here.
strange.
Which is the pin, is anyone?
Me, I hope it's not too late for us.
I just press Pam.
So
when
two,
it's
one, three,
Rose calls the one next to Sky.
943
nine, four, three. Oh,
3434.
What are we looking at? Which is the one with the wants to call?
Yes, the one next to Sky.
Next to Skype. And what's the one with the right one?
That's
I don't know.
post.
you guys,
When finished, press the pound key.
As you can see, her technology oriented, I know it's my flip phone.
Our menu has recently changed. Please listen carefully to the new prompts before making your selection.
That was different.
To start your show now, press 1. To hear important.
okay.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Woohoo!
That's the intro, so we can put our own intros. Song I wrote.
So that's our music?
Uh-huh. No, that's just mine, that's just something I wrote.
Okay.
How long is the intro?
I did like 18 seconds. But I can talk now, they can hear me. Hi everybody, welcome to Blog Talk Radio, and hey guys. That's it. Now, if somebody calls in we have a caller, right? Okay, that's the host, that's me right now. So if somebody calls in at the 914-338-0332.
There you go, your caller's coming in right now.
Oh, 914 number?
Yes.
What's the 619 number over there then?
The 914-338.
Where's the nice,
There's
oh,
our-
This
yeah.
number, see right here?
Alright, okay.
You guys, he's calling in right now.
Press 1 at any time, and the host will be notified that there is a caller in queue. You are now in the host queue.
Okay, there you are right there.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, there it is.
So, la la. So you can hear in there, so you're listening to the show. So now, if you want to go to the other room, we can talk to you.
Oh, he's on hold?
Oh, good lord.
He's on hold right now.
So what do we physically need to do to get him on the line?
Hit that button right there.
The yellow button?
This,
Blue? Whatever this is?
you're gonna hit that button. See where the microphone
Oh,
is?
okay, yeah,
Hit the
Okay.
microphone button. It's really simple.
Okay.
I wish this was a better TV, but I guess it kind of gets the job done.
This feels like it's about the size of a radio studio.
Okay.
So we got two
hold.
So
people
I'm
holding
calling
right
in,
now.
what's happening out there?
Hi, this is Martine. How you doing?
Terrific, how are you?
We're doing good. Okay, so he's on. Is somebody on hold?
Yes.
Okay, can you hear us talking right there?
I don't hear anything.
Okay, great. Thank you for calling.
Shouldn't he be hearing hold music?
Oh, he has a question. Somebody told us.
Yeah.
Put yourself on speaker so we can hear what
What's
you're
that?
What do alligators and Italians have in common?
I don't know. What do alligators and Italians have in common?
They both have big mouths and make great shoes.
Thanks for calling. Ba-dum-bum-bum. Okay. So that would be that one. So he's gone. Okay. So then you do your show. Don and I, you keep talking, your show. Now if you have a commercial, you want to build a commercial, we make a commercial and we stick it in here and it'll be your audio clip. You take a break and play your commercial. You put yourself on mute, which is here. Okay, now it's on mute. So check, you're not gonna hear me. And then I want to play my, let's say I want to play my commercial. The commercial will play here. So that would be a commercial.
And how do you get the audio clips in there? Is it just like a drag and
You
drop
upload
thing?
them.
Oh.
You upload them. So right now I'm on mute. So I'm on mute. Okay, so now we're back. There we go. It's all simple. Just hit the button. So now we're back. Okay, now we're back. And we have somebody on hold.
We should do commercials.
Hello, who's this?
This is really speaking. Hi, how you doing?
Doing good. Okay, it said we had 90 seconds ago or whatever it said. I don't know what it's saying, but.
What
So anyways, that's how it works.
What's your talk about today?
I want to talk about love.
Lou.
Oh, yeah.
It's a four-letter word.
It's a 4-letter word. Depends how you want to use it, huh?
Apparently love is the topic.
So, okay, so now we're all done. The show's over. And thank you for calling.
And there's no obligation to use up all the time the clock shows?
There's no obligation. Okay, so now we're out. So here's the outro.
Do you know?
Thanks for coming to the show, everybody. Blah, blah, blah. You know, find us on wherever. I'm on mute.
Now, if you totally screwed it up, can you delete and start over?
It's live.
Live.
But here's the thing, you guys, we're all gonna launch this show to an audience of probably ourselves.
We can launch it just
Right, initially, until we really kind of get the machine working a little bit.
Okay, and then when you're done, guys, then when you're done, end episode. It'll ask you, are you sure you want to do this? End episode, or stay on air. You're done. Boom, that's it. There's your show.
Well
And when
done,
you do
Martine!
Now, does that give you the URL
Automatically
under which it's
archives.
archived so you can retrieve it?
It's in there, yeah.
If
It'll be
they're
there in about 2
listening
minutes.
live, what happens
Okay,
after you hit end episode?
Go back and
What do they hear
hear
next?
all the mistakes.
What do you mean?
Well, we
If you're
can.
listening to this like a radio station,
Oh,
and
okay.
our time slot ends, what happens right after that? And we're not all gonna be sitting there.
No, it's you're done.
Yeah.
Your show's done.
You'll get dead air, it's not like radio, you'll have
Yeah.
dead space.
Oh, okay.
It's the stream. The stream is gone.
So when people are interested, oh, let me see what's happening on Blog Talk Radio with these guys right now, and turn it on, they might hear nothing in it at some given time.
There's
And
gonna be a
some
lot
other
of
times they
that.
might hear live stuff.
Yeah, there might be
Archives,
nothing
yeah.
there.
Well, it's
But you're
only
gonna-
us, right? It's so many people out there who also
Yeah, well, let's look.
slots and have other, talk shows.
Alright, you'll do a search
Let's
like
go
you would
look.
on Google, and
Blog
it'll give you
Talk.
topics to find.
Yep.
Here you go. So this is what it looks like. So
Share.
these are, so this is on air. So it tells you these are the people that are on the air right now. And here they are. It says on air. You see what it says on air? Has the picture, whatever.
Something, Martin. Let's
It's radio, you can lie.
This guy's a music guy, so
I've been
This is
told
what it
I have
looks
a
like.
face for radio.
So we each need like a little picture or whatever, or some type of a clip for our show, right? Or are we
Not
gonna do
sure.
one?
I'm not exactly sure how we're gonna do that because they only give us like 5 clips. And so yes, yeah, when you do your show, you're gonna load, you have 5 clips you can load. So as you schedule your show, you're gonna load your 5 clips for your show. And what happens is, as they,
You're talking about audio right now, right?
I don't know why
I
it's
think
not
he's talking
saying.
about pictures like
No,
the
I'm
one in
talking
front.
Pictures, you see how it's, yeah, see how this
So
is? You have 5 pictures that'll rotate every show. So you'll put your, your picture however you wanna do it, however it's set up, how you mark it, and you'll have 5 pictures that'll rotate through your show. They'll just rotate.
You have to
Are you
have
saying that
five?
You don't have to have any.
Oh,
You
okay.
don't have to have any. You can do
Okay.
it. It's up to
Martina,
you.
are you saying that we have to override each other's photos for each hour?
No, because you're gonna, every time you launch a show, this is my understanding, every time you launch a show, you get, you upload those pictures into that episode only.
Oh.
I spoke to a guy named John over at the, at Blog Talk Radio, and he said, the way that the format is set up, it's set up for only 2 hours. So if you're buying 2 hours, it's 2 hours that are continuous. But and I said, this is what we're doing. He's like, I know a lot of people want to do that. So what he did is he actually broke it up so we can take those, so we have to have hour segments, okay? You can do a half hour, but everything's within an hour. So you can do 2 back to back, or you can do an hour and then here and then an hour there. So what I did is I took that and I kind of made up a little schedule so you can kind of see what it would look like in a schedule. So I'm just gonna read through that. So let's say Sunday night, Coach's Corner with Mike Drew, let's say from 9 to 10. Find Happiness with Steve Finn, 5 o'clock to 6 p.m. on Monday. Group Coaching with Amy Smith, 6 to 7. So it's just, however we set it up, we set it up.
Thank you.
So do you know, this is something that occurred to me, given the idea that I had, do you know if multiple callers can come in on the line at once, or is it only in that queue?
No, I think you can have multiple callers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you can open the line to 10 callers at once, and everybody can be heard?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, like a conference call, something like that?
Like if I'm gonna do this group coaching idea, I would need all 10 callers to be
At
in,
the same time.
at the same time, rather than in a call queue where they go on and then off, and then on and then off.
You also have a chat. There's also a chat that goes along with it. So maybe something for you is they can post their questions on the chat, and then you can click them in or click them out. So you're not having a lot of background noise. That
Right,
would be
because
something-
otherwise you get 6, like this group was a moment ago, where everybody's chattering, it could be confusing. So, in a lot of the software programs, like the, what's it called, the GoToMeeting, you click a button and it shows a little hand that comes up. So that effect would be more appropriate in a group, I think, environment.
I think you
What
probably
about
find more
if you have
success.
If you have an interviewer, so everybody's gonna call in, so if you're giving an interview to somebody, conducting an interview, and then you wanna take additional callers, can you have yourself
the interviewee and an additional caller come in to speak to the.
Yeah, right now we're in the
Yes.
premium. So the premium allows for, I'll say it right here. So there's a free one, which is 30 minutes a day. There's a premium, and I did talk to him about the impressions and about the audio, and I'll tell you about that in a second.
Okay.
So it allows for 50 live concurrent callers.
Oh, wow.
50.
Oh, check that out.
Okay, look at you in your coach's corner, huh?
Okay, that's callers. I
Wow.
think what they're addressing is being able to talk with the simultaneously talking. Now, what I noticed over there was mute buttons.
Yes,
And in the mute button was, by default, it came as mute,
yes,
right?
yes,
And so you'd have to unmute them all so that you could have that many people talk at the same
yeah.
time, right?
Usually, I don't know, in teleconference calls, there's some sort of code like *6,
Yeah.
mutes, they mute themselves, and then when they want to speak, they hit *6. So that everybody's background noise is including the call.
This is
And
radio,
usually,
baby.
Yeah, that's good.
yeah, I don't know. I'll study it a little bit to see
Yeah, no, that's
what
cool.
the features are, because they have to be able to raise their own hand.
Yours is gonna be unique. Yours
Yeah.
is gonna be unique. You may wanna do a live stream from a GoToMeeting or something. That might be how you wanna do yours. And then just stream it into it, so it's not a call-in show for anybody else.
Stream it in.
You might wanna do a GoToMeeting and just have GoToMeeting stream into the show.
How would that do it?
You would just send the audio clip to the show.
A
Well, what I
pre-recorded
currently
one.
do-
Or a pre-recorded. You could do, you can also
So you're
do
saying it's
pre-recorded
not
shows.
live,
No, you could do it live, but you could also do it the other way as well.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, really, there's so many things that you can do. Like John said, you just gotta let us know what you wanna do.
Yeah.
And they've had almost every scenario.
I want to check again one thing. Since we're booking two,
Question mark, I like to put this on my Facebook, like, and have an hour segment.
Mhm.
Do I know exactly the caller number before I even?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There actually sends, when you go into the studio and you set it up, there is Facebook and all those things. What you're gonna have to do is, because we're only gonna have one Facebook link,
Okay.
because we're not a station, and the station is $5,000 a month. So we're different, so we're like we're a show. So what you have to do is you're gonna have to do some work, which is just grab the hyperlink and then post it where you wanna post it.
And it's one URL link, right?
It's one URL
It's
link.
one URL,
And
we'll
one
all have the
number.
same URL link, and it's always gonna be to this radio show, and we're just multiple hosts in one radio show, technically,
Yeah.
in Blog Talk Radio terms, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're gonna I think what we're gonna do, and we gotta talk to a techie, what probably do is set it up with the email to be a Facebook page that would be like, that's gonna be the person, if you will. Does that make sense? And then so everybody would like into that, and then that person would then stream all the information out, because Facebook is so easy to.
Right, all you have to do is click share,
That's
and it
it,
ends
yeah.
up on your own page or wherever you want it to be.
Exactly, so, there's a lot of bugs to work out, but it's not like it's not like it was 10 years ago, but it's definitely a lot
the
easier.
thing I was asking is that if you're going to book 2 hours and you want to be able to, let's say 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock,
Uh-huh,
you want to make it so there's something going on between 6 and 8 every single day, since that's what we're allowed to do. One way is, of course, to have it happen when it happens, and just people have to look at the timetable and figure it out.
yes.
So the other is they could just tune in at 6 o'clock every evening, and there's something going on from our group. Now, we may not have everyone, we may have enough people filling that in, we may not. Can we take recorded segments that,
Yes.
let's say, happened 2 days ago, and play it again?
Absolutely.
That's why I was asking
You
about the
absolutely
recording,
do
because
that.
then
Yeah, so
you
you're
know,
always
if
filling
there's
the
no
time.
material there, right?
But there's one way of recording is where, okay, you can go there and listen to it, right, or just
Yeah,
stream
no,
it to
no,
you. But
I
can we
mean
take a
just
recording and
for-
actually broadcast it?
Absolutely, yeah, you
That's
can
what we have the
rebroadcast.
archives, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
No,
You
there's
can
different ways
rebroadcast.
archives can work, so I'm glad to have that.
And that's what John was saying,
You
is
can
a lot of
take a live
people.
show that's archived and broadcast it, but you can also pre-record a show and drop it into the
We can
archives
pre-record.
and then send it out
John said
later.
there's a lot of people that'll do that, like financial planners will do that, where they'll record one show every 2 weeks, but they'll have a 3 hour, they'll have like 3 hours a day, and they'll do one at 8 o'clock, one at 12 o'clock, one at 6 o'clock at night, and they do that, so that's, yeah, definitely we can do that.
And, in my vision, I love the idea that we know it's every night from 6 to 8, or every
Right.
Tuesday night from 6 to 8, something that's completely repeatable, so none of us have to consult a schedule to know what's going on to talk about it. We just know that this radio station, whatever it's called,
Right.
is broadcasting something, every something at something. And that it's that's locked in.
Whatever is the max allowed to us, if it's, 2
Well,
hours a
actually, we
day.
might not want to go for max. We might want to start out where it's maybe it's a 2-hour or 3-hour block of time every Thursday, let's say.
Yeah,
Because some of us are probably going to have a monthly show, some of us are going to have a weekly show, some of us are going to have a bi-monthly show. We can, but somebody has to manage all that. Somebody has to be, running the archive, putting them in the queue and getting them running, or almost.
well,
have
you're
to
gonna
be
do
like
that yourself, you'll do that
station
yourself.
manager.
You'll do that yourself, I mean, really, when that's your
But I mean,
responsibility.
if we have a lot of dead air, is all what I'm talking about. That
We're not gonna have
if we
dead air
take
because
if we take on 6 hours a week, and between all of us, and that's how many a month? 20, 30, I'm not right now.
24 to 30.
What do we
30
get?
something.
What is it we're
And we're
getting
all,
for 39
between
hours?
us, only putting together 10 hours of airtime. I don't think we want to manage that much non-live airtime.
But
So
there's no
I
reason
think
not
we
to
really
do
want to
reruns.
launch
Just
within
do
a
reruns.
reasonable amount of time.
It's okay to do reruns, that's exactly what I was
Gotcha.
talking
If
about.
each of us gets the same amount of time, and I do one show a month, I will repeat it 3 times. You wanna do a weekly show, you will do each show once 4 times. We each get the same amount of time and we fill it with whatever it is that we've got.
One of the
I
things
think
we have
what
to
I hear her
understand,
fear,
okay,
what
And then you don't
saying
have
is-
any dead time.
What she's saying is
Yeah.
at 6 o'clock, and this is where it's wrong. You're saying at 6 o'clock, if there's nobody there, you have to go in and finagle to put on the recorded show, but it's set up on timer, so it'll happen by itself.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be there to manage
That's
it.
good.
You just say, well, I'm gonna run my repeat, I'm on vacation, I'm gonna run my repeat at 6. You
Well-
set it up and you leave for vacation and it runs.
What I got from what you're saying, Milo, and I think it's a good approach, is that we will take that total time, we will divide it between us, and then we're responsible for that block of time, whether we're running something live or not. Now, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
What Blog Talk Radio will do is it'll kick you out if you get a rating, so you get like a quality control. So if you schedule something for 6 o'clock like we did, we scheduled a show for 7 o'clock, we didn't show up until a certain time, you actually get graded, so we'll be graded on that. Next time we ask, we're gonna be maybe not as, if there's like 5 people, they may not give it to us. But the other thing he said is they have so much bandwidth right now that they have a lot of bandwidth right now. So it's
Let's
they're
build
happy to
that
have
sucker
that.
up.
And I think the thing is that the other thing they said too is you understand is that on Blog Talk Radio, he said like 90% of the people that listen to it are listening to archives. Like 10% of their audience is live.
Which makes sense, because why make a point of being there unless you're calling in and you can listen at your convenience?
Yeah.
Right, it's like, it's the way DVRs have taken over television.
Yeah.
I
So
never
it's
know
very
anything
clear
about
over
it.
there.
This is
Neither.
what's by that 90% are.
90% of
Yeah, I
people
believe
live
that.
in archives.
That's really important for us to know because that tells us what our success rate will be for forming a live audience with live callers.
Yeah.
If-
Practically
if
none.
we're-
Well, you can set it up where we call each other for each other, so that
Yeah,
you
but we'll
have
only
some-
be able to do that for so much.
Yeah.
If we're really looking for.
I think it's also
I can do
very-
like 20 different
Let's say-
voices.
Yeah.
Do they charge more for prime time than they do for late night?
It's all the same. Yeah.
It's also very important for us to know that if we don't get too many callers, it doesn't mean our show's not a success. It just means that many of them are coming in at other times of day, they're not necessarily coming in live.
It has more to do with depending on callers to make up the content of your show. We might not want to come up with concepts that totally depend.
Right.
If it's
Right.
really a 90% archives, that's showing just a universal trend. So if we have a concept that's all about live callers, it might be difficult to pull off.
It might be, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why the whole Power of 16 is gonna work, because it's drawing from Nikki, it's drawing from Efren, it's drawing from Rohit, it's drawing from, Rico, it's drawing from Steve. That's what we're doing. We're like saying, hey guys, I might not talk about sleep, but my buddy Charlie talks about sleep, and I'm telling you, if your wife can't sleep, your husband can't sleep, this is where you need to be, you need to listen to the show. And that's when we're talking about, just this group of people. I would imagine we have upwards, if we really did the numbers, upwards of 10,000 people if we just did one announcement a day. On just my Facebook and LinkedIn, it's over 3,000. So, and that doesn't include how we're gonna
Such a
build
little socialite.
our Twitter and all that other stuff. It doesn't take into account that. It doesn't take into account the groups that we're a part of. Could you imagine just, on Exceptional Entrepreneurs, that you're gonna announce on Exceptional Entrepreneurs, you're doing a show. And can you now imagine announcing on, somebody that is, that on a psychic rate, on a psychic, Facebook page, 10 of those that you're gonna be doing a live show. And, you know, we can all do that, so we're learning how to do this together to create a draw. And what we're doing is, listen, we're not in the radio business. We're in the personal development business. We need gigs. We need people to come and pay us for our services. We need, you know, we need customers. That's what we're doing. We got to remember that's what we're doing. It's not just a show, it's what we're gonna do as having a show, and on our websites, having a little, you know, a little, what do they call it, like a little microphone up in the corner of our website, and that helps legitimize ourselves. That gives us more content, it gives us more exposure, all those things is to build our brand. We're about building brands. That's what, it's not about somebody calling in, it's about building brands. So we have to remember what we really want to do. And if we're worried about people calling in, I think we're looking at the wrong thing. You know, I always tell, like, one of the stories I tell about building is during the gold rush. Would you rather be a guy panning for the gold or the guy, you know, that's selling the Levi's?
Yeah, really.
I'd rather sell the Levi's and the shovels. Right now, if we play our cards right and we look at it correctly, I think we're going to be selling shovels and Levi's, and that's where we're going to make our money, and that's where we're going to be able to help each other. That makes sense?
Yeah.
And one more thing also, we spoke about this last meeting, that it's not about competition, it's not about who is better, who did better, who it has, you know, higher results. We're all here for each other, so basically it's a cooperation to promoting each other, because we have enough clients in the world for all of us. But the collaboration versus competition, thank you so much.
One of my favorite words in the book I read, coopetition.
Coopetition, I love it, I love it. Brian was saying yesterday, he was asking about the, what is our mission statement? And that might be something, was that you asking about?
Oh, I love that.
That might be something we want to get together on the next meeting and talk about that and create a mission statement so that we know who we want to have in and who, you know, and to keep a safe space, and how can we keep a, you know, a safe, loving, supportive space inside of what we're doing. Because there's 5 or 6 people that hopefully they're on Ustream, that are not even in San Diego. I have somebody in Australia that's looking, somebody in Ottawa that's looking, I have somebody in Boise, Idaho that's looking right now, I have somebody in New York City looking, and I have somebody in Washington DC looking. So I have, this is, my vision is this thing gets global. And I spoke today to the gentleman that launched Hay House Radio. I don't know if you guys know Hay House Radio.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yeah, I talked to the gentleman that launched Hay House Radio. And when I told him what we had, he's like, man, you guys, it sounds like you guys even have more of a concept of what to do than they did. And that's been 3 years, so.
Well, they get the really big names on Hay House Radio.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that will be us.
Yeah, exactly.
Just so you know, just do a little bit of math around the page there.
Yes.
We get 2 hours a day,
Yes.
7 days a week.
Yes.
I think it's free.
30 days a month, so that's, we've got 60 hours in total. Divide that with 16 people, each of us gets 2.75 hours, roughly around 4 hours.
Yeah.
So each of us gets 4 hours.
Per month?
Per month, yeah.
Oh, you did the total breakdown of how many
That's
hours
right, we get 2
available?
hours a day, 7 days a week, so 60 days a month, or 60 hours a month, sorry. Divide that by 16 people, if we get 16 people, as you're talking about. And then we're on to 3.75 hours each.
Yeah, see, for me, I'll do one
does
2
math.
hour show I'll do one hour show every 2 weeks. I'm not gonna do a show every week, there's no way I could do a show every week. So I'm gonna be well, no, I could, but it's, there's so much room for so many more people. There's so much room for so many more people.
Sure, you could do it that way too.
And that's
I thought of another person, this is what I couldn't help myself, but the idea hit me. My brother, on September 4th, and my brother has a great radio voice. He used to do live call-in radio. He's moving to Italy for a couple of months as a dream, his personal dream, to become a chef and going to culinary school.
Oh, cool.
He's just dropping everything and just going to culinary school. He could call in with this week's recipes.
Exactly.
And he's like you.
Healthy.
Yeah, he's a personal trainer, and he's about 8% body fat, and he's 53 years old, and he could bench press this table. So yeah, it's perfect. He cooks healthy all the time. It would be outstanding. I was just excited for my brother because he loves it.
For $99, we can go to 3 hours a day. So really, when you take just this group right here, and we go from $40 to $40 a month to $99 a month,
You charge the extra 60 to my brother. Since
Well-
I'm paying the 38 and you're splitting the dollar.
Yeah, oh, well, that's all we need to hear.
But if it's 60 hours a month, and you're saying you could do one a month, and then it's in the archives, there isn't a whole lot of reason to repeat even, other than they can maybe pick up more listeners, but it's there in the archives. Wouldn't the ideal be to get 60 people, and then it'd be like $1 each?
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely, I think that would be terrific. At that point, when we had that many people, so let's say we had 50 people that were interested. We're probably gonna wanna take that group and say, listen, we're gonna up the ante here.
Yeah.
We have listeners, we're not gonna go to $40 each a month, and we're gonna actually launch something that's actually a lot bigger, that's gonna go 24 hours a day, that
Right.
rolls and stuff like that. That really would be the thing, because you can imagine, 40 people at $40 a month, that is plenty of money to launch something. Then we start talking about membership, then you start talking about, these guys actually built the website, and they said they can just duplicate the site for us. So there's so much things you can do, there's so much.
So we can put advertisements on there?
Yeah, whatever your
So
advertisement,
we could all advertise for each other on
Mhm. Or you can have people pay for your advertisement, that's your money.
Yeah, that's how we wanted to generate revenue, is I was gonna say, donate money to these charities over and above production of the radio costs, or the radio production costs. All the revenue that I generate is gonna go to the veterans charities, and I'll have a list of the charities, then they can choose where they wanna send their money. And whether it's $100 or $1,000 for an ad, doesn't really matter, they're gonna generate that revenue for them. And you can even sell airtime, just go out and knock on doors and sell airtime.
Yeah, that would be a good way
I
to
vote
do
you
it.
for that one.
And I've done it before.
If we wanted to do an interview with someone, would there be a better way than just, the sound quality isn't great because of cell phones and everything. If we wanted to do something where we were just pre-recording it and dropping it out there, is there any mechanism? Yeah, I would rather interview guests than
Yeah.
take callers.
That's what I'm gonna do.
And then I can do it at my own convenience and not that time. But what mechanism is there for recording? Are we on our own for recording?
Pretty much, yeah.
That's the
Yeah,
hard
but I can work with you
No.
on that, I can.
So easy, 2-prong headset with a mic on it, with like a boom mic over your ear, plugs right into your computer.
Yeah.
And it's got sound quality of radio.
But the person we're interviewing would have to have that on their end too.
You have a splitter, if they're on the other side, they're gonna have this. But if they have a headset, most people have a wired headset to their phone.
Right.
That'll give better sound quality than talking over a mic on the phone.
Sure.
On
But if
a
you're in the
Mac,
same
you can
room,
do
you
it.
just can plug into 2 USB
Yeah,
ports.
it's just like a Y connector.
Oh, okay.
Stick them together and then you both wear headsets.
Use a Y connector, not two separate USBs.
Okay,
Nikki, I'm sorry, Nikki has a question.
so
RCD
each
jack.
individual person, other than the cooperativeness of it, we're trying to get our own name out there to promote our personal business.
Yes,
Now, in order to promote anything, it needs to be repetition.
sure.
So if I only get a half an hour once a month or whatever that is, that's not enough repetition to foster any one of us to get our names out there.
But it's on the archives too. It's only a question of whether people happen to say, what's on Blog Talk right now, and see a show and pick it. If that's not happening, which I would expect that's probably a small percentage, what people are probably more likely to do is go through the archives and say, which show looks interesting? And there probably isn't a lot more advantage you doing 4 times a month than 1 a month, unless they love your show so much they would have listened to the other 3. Either way, they've had the exposure to you.
Yeah, ultimately, it's about your personal website and drawing traffic to your website, because that's where they're gonna go. If they come to the show and then they hear about you and somebody says, hey, listen to this show, you can go on your Facebook, you can take the show, you put a link on Facebook to your show so somebody can click on that, and then go watch your show, you go into LinkedIn and you share it with different groups, all that kind of stuff. That's really good. But ultimately, it's about somebody getting in contact with you, and mostly people are gonna go to your website before they call you. So really, it's about creating, those kind of, it's a funnel, and it's about creating those kind of connections.
And credibility, I guess.
And credibility. And this is gonna give you so much credibility. It really is. This is better than a color business card with
You
your face.
do also get a weekly, Michelle does a weekly show. I did a talk on getting the love and keeping the passion, I called it. I had a weekly thing where people called in. It wasn't on this. It was telecom type things, and we were recording and everything. But it was a weekly calling, and there was some people who were very loyal who came in every week and they wanted to keep on going further, and there were some who came in once or twice and dropped out. So there is value to the repetition. and to something that is on a regular basis too. So it's up to you how you want to design it. I like that idea because it gets me also, once a week I've got something going, so. It's nice
Yeah,
to-
and I'm not really sure why you're saying half an hour a month, because I think at this point, we're not anywhere near half an hour a month.
Well, somebody could take on half hour, like somebody
hour,
4 hours.
Yeah.
Around 4 hours a month. Now, if you
Given
don't
our
want
current
it,
status.
then you can pass it on to somebody else. If some people don't want that much.
Yeah.
Here's an idea.
Yeah,
You know, there are related ideas within this room, obviously, because we're all professional development on one level or another. We sponsor each other's shows, so I say today our program is, because we're talking about PTSD, today our program is brought to you by Dr. Nikki Goldman. And Dr. Nikki, blah, 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 and we tell the story that you want to tell on that. And we're talking about spiritual relationships with veterans who get out. I'm just giving my show idea. And today's show is brought to you by, and we collaborate with each other and announce upcoming shows and announce each other's websites. So now we're getting deeper market penetration.
Right,
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
definitely.
If each of us said sponsored by and played a pre-recorded 30-second commercial in the middle and plugged somebody else's website at the end, then every show plugs 4 people.
Yep.
I think you could take that to an extreme where it's like enough already, but even at 4 or 5, I think you could get away with it. And then if we just rotated through which 4 and 5 of that was happening with.
That's because my thought about when we're talking about generating business to our own websites is, I'm gonna do a show that's completely unrelated to what my internet businesses are. But I'm gonna say, brought to you by, maybe I'm not gonna use cheesy words like brought to you by, but our sponsor for today's show is ipaytoshop.com.
absolutely.
And then I'm gonna talk about ipaytoshop.com, or maybe I even do a pre-recorded bit with some music and plug that in, and then people go to my website and buy from me. But we'll do that for everybody.
Absolutely.
And the links to each other, it's all collaborative.
I like
That's a
that.
great idea.
Yeah. We're gonna just rotate and we all can be exposed, perfect.
I really like the mastermind idea too, that we just help each other with all the social media and develop our visibility. So we share ideas like that and we build each other.
So
I guess I have one thought that's happening as we talk about this. Maybe it's just a philosophy, but I actually feel like this has the potential to create business for us without being heavy on the marketing side.
Yeah.
That what we're really up to is, of course, the outcome that we want is business for each of us individually. We want our clients, we want our products, or whatever it is. However, if we get really focused on the advertising and the commercial and all that, we're gonna ruin it, I think, because the idea of Blog Talk Radio is that it's a free place where you can go in and you can get good, solid help, information, interesting conversation.
Absolutely.
And I think people are gonna gravitate towards that, and they're gonna gravitate towards certain personalities. They're gonna resonate with who you are, how you talk, with your particular angle on life. And if they listen to you more than once or twice, they're gonna say, I just think that, Anne's really got something for me. She really seems to understand where I'm coming from. And without doing a lot of pitching or marketing, I just, that's where I'm at personally.
I agree.
Yeah, they're gonna
That's
avoid you
exactly
if you
what
start.
Yeah,
getting
if we
too
get a little
much,
too
yeah.
pitchy, we're gonna dilute the effect, I
There's a
think.
term-
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, so my question, we've got lots of good ideas here, and we can go on, we're all talkers, we can go on and on and on forever. What's our next step? to
Great
make this
question.
happen?
Our next step is to ask the
Ruby.
question, what are our next steps?
Yes. Okay.
Good timing.
Mission statement, too.
So it's, so when we train in conscious choosing, we say who does what by when and how do we follow up? So that would be where we're at right now. So, why don't we do it up on there? Anne, you mind writing? Here's some
I want to, these things come into my head, I get these pictures and it's, I'm psychotic, maybe you can read. A term came to mind when you were talking about being too marketing or too salesy. Tom Hopkins, a mentor of mine, who's a sales trainer, says it's not your job to go out there and sell everybody. It's your job to go out and create, and the term he used is army of advocates. And that's, I think, the key. And we have a small army here of advocates, and each one of us is in command of building a bigger army for the entire group.
Of course.
Absolutely.
So how about one simple idea that during our show, either the end of the show or some point, we say, and to let you know about the upcoming shows we've got, we're gonna have so-and-so talking about this at this time.
Probably the red one.
This, and we just, each one of us, gives a little thing of what's coming up in the next few days.
Yeah, and for
Not
more info,
everything.
look at the
Let's,
website.
And for
I'm
more
gonna,
details, go to.
I'm gonna ask you right now that those are ideas, I think what Nikki's saying, and I think we should move in that direction.
Yeah,
Let's
yeah.
work on next steps, and then we're just not gonna stop with ideas. We have a Facebook page, please record something, please blog on it or anything, so we can go, I think that'd be.
So
one of our next
are
steps,
we
so
really trying to do a September 15th launch?
Maybe it's
That's
October.
maybe
October one,
how
Yeah.
fast we need to move from
Yeah.
I
here,
want it to
so.
be right?
So maybe, let's just say soft launch September 15th,
Yeah,
and maybe a less soft launch October 1st.
Yeah.
So that gives us maybe a full month to sort of get our ducks in a row.
absolutely.
And it seems like for next steps, we need to settle on what we call ourselves.
Okay, so that's what we need to do.
So next steps
Name.
is we need to name ourselves, and the banner needs to be
It's a
broad
brand.
enough and also descriptive enough. And the way that we were doing it initially is we were going to GoDaddy to see if the URL is available before we even put the idea in play, so that we can use it as our URL. And on our group Facebook page, everybody is a part of now, there's an area where I said, let's put all our ideas here. And I think maybe we could have a cutoff time, like
Yeah.
ideas are submitted until blank date,
Right.
and then we're all gonna vote,
Should we
and we're
say
gonna
a
vote
week from
on
today?
our number 1, our number 2, and our number 3 choice.
Should we say a week from today?
Let's do that.
For the
Okay.
cutoff?
So we have a week.
How about if we vote when do we meet next Wednesday here, same bat time, same
Okay.
channel?
Yeah, that
And
should
we
be.
vote then,
Okay.
All right, sounds
And
good.
all
What's
titles,
the date, a week from today?
29th.
one thing we'd said last time, that the title
I
suggestions
can't
that
be
you
here next Wednesday.
all title suggestions should be checked with GoDaddy.com if they're
Yes.
actually available. So if you've got a title, and you'll be wanting the word radio at the end of our title, right?
Oh, I can't
So
do
it's
next Wednesday.
xyzradio.com, should be available
you
on
wanna do
GoDaddy.
Tuesday?
I mean, we could even do a survey online where we have all the names that everyone has contributed, when everyone can go to a page and vote.
Sure.
I mean, we don't necessarily need to all be in person for something as simple as that.
Well, we could say the cutoff date is a week. We still need to settle on when we meet again,
Yeah.
but in terms of this, we could say the cutoff date is a week for submissions. And then by, so let's say next Wednesday, you have to submit all your ideas,
That's the
okay?
29th, right?
And then by Friday, you need to post your vote for your number 1, your number 2, and your number 3 on that
Where
Facebook page.
Where are you gonna put that,
It'll be on our.
voting?
It'll be on the
It'll be on our
Facebook
Facebook
page.
page.
Where is the voting? for this?
So-
Yeah, sure.
There's a voting thing?
I don't know.
No, I was just saying put a post. I mean, we don't.
It's not that many
I don't wanna
people. We can
invent
figure it out.
anything. I
We'll
just
figure
want,
it
if
out.
somebody can just go and read it and figure out what seems to be
So what's
right.
gonna happen is everyone's gonna put in whatever their suggestions are onto the Facebook group page,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then.
So right now, there is a post that's already started, so add it into the comments field. The
Add to the
post says,
comments. Okay,
put your ideas here, and there's already like 6 comments in
Okay.
there with ideas.
okay,
Keep adding to that,
okay.
and then next Wednesday, we're cut off from adding ideas, and we'll have until Friday of that week, of next week, to say what our number 1 choice is, our number 2 choices, and number 3 choice. Everybody votes. Nobody skips it, everybody votes, and then I'll tally it.
Sure.
And if we can't make the meeting, we can just vote on the.
Well, all that's
Facebook page.
online right
Yeah,
now.
absolutely.
All that's online. We don't even have a live meeting set around
I
that.
think what we're gonna do the next meeting, one of the main things we do is we'll work on what were we talking about?
Mission
Yeah, I mean,
statement.
even with the name, I think it's really important to have a mission in mind
Yeah.
before a name would really do
I
that
agree.
mission justice. And so I feel like that would need to be kind of the preface. In fact, I would like to open it up for words like collaboration, self-improvement. Those are 2 areas that I think are really important. It is a collaborative effort, it is a team, it is a community, and it's talking about health, wellness, self-improvement. Those are principles that I think are bonding everyone together. And I think that the name of whatever we're doing needs to reflect that in some way, shape, or
Yeah.
Sure.
Like that.
So what we'll do, why don't we talk about the mission statement next week?
Well, are we saying that that needs to precede choosing a?
I think it does, because I think it's,
All right.
when you read the mission statement, it's
Yeah.
obvious what the name
Yeah,
is.
then it hits a branding issue as well.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
exactly, at the same time.
Yeah.
Well, I think one common area that we have to think about is that none of us are in this for the taking, all of us are in it for the giving. What are we gonna give back?
Absolutely.
And so the mission has to really capture the essence of the give back, the return to people, to society.
How does everybody feel about meeting Tuesday, August 28th, next week?
I think that'll be fine.
Not a good day for me, Wednesday's preferable,
Yeah,
but
me too. Tuesday's not good for me.
Yeah, Wednesday would be.
Wednesday's better, okay.
Yeah.
I will not be here, but it sounds like the group is still, is good for
We'll take
Wednesday.
notes.
Okay.
What are the other days? that
want to
I-
look at Thursday? or-
Thursday. We do Thursday
How
as
about
well?
Thursday?
I'm good with Wednesday.
Thursday, August 30th?
I can't do next Thursday. Wednesday's
Yeah,
okay for me.
Thursday's good.
We could do, how about if we did something during the day? Is everybody available during the day?
No,
Yeah.
Okay.
I can probably cancel what I have on
I can't.
Wednesday.
Okay, so it sounds like the group is getting together Wednesday, August 29th, same bat station here. And the conversation will be around mission.
Can you put that, are you on our Facebook page?
I'm on, yes.
Would you add that to the Facebook page so that we know? Can you just create an event
Create an event or?
just create an event for next meeting?
So is it 6:30 again?
Yes.
Is it
Okay.
possible
Nice.
to start a
From
little
where?
earlier at all?
I know where this place is.
Exactly.
I
know, it's
I
kind of,
barely,
it's
Early,
I,
6:30.
Well, yeah,
it's kind of weird. Everybody
Okay.
gets lost here. First time they get lost,
Not-
after that they got.
Don't just put it on the group page? Just-
Yeah, if you create an event on the group page, then that would be great, then everybody we'll invite everybody.
Is there a desire to invite other people into the group?
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
then, the main themes are wellness and improvement and
I
health.
think like-minded
Yeah.
people.
Okay.
You know, I talked to somebody yesterday, he's a salesperson, he's like, how can I do that? And I said, well, there's ways to approach it. You don't have to teach people how to sell, but, what is behind it? What's the,
Well,
A
I
good
don't know, I
salesperson
think we
could
really
talk
need
about
to talk
values,
about that,
statements,
because it's either gonna fit or it's not.
Yeah.
And honestly,
Right.
I don't know, if we're really if we're aiming towards a sort of personal, human development, personal improvement and wellness sort of mission, I'm not sure how we're gonna try and,
Fit
jerry-rig sales in there,
I
because
agree there.
it really gets too broad.
no, I don't think we're, putting sales in there, you put the thing, like you said, what did you call it?
sales, a good salesperson is not someone who's a con artist, it's about ethics and values in selling. And when you talk about that, you know me well enough to know that there's no way I'd sacrifice any of my integrity for a buck, ever. And that can be a whole program in itself.
Yeah, your book's written on that.
Yeah, integrity selling.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's a great policy as long as everyone follows it that belongs to the group, you know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
if you get people that don't, then there's a problem.
Well, and I'm saying if there's a salesperson that wants to present as a partner of ours and present a program on selling values, that fits right in with the group.
Oh, yeah,
Because
that's
you're going to,
different.
it's a give back to the
Well,
community.
maybe what we could, if we're gonna, because I really do think
We're
there's
gonna
some
cover that in the
benefit.
mission statement.
And
We're
I
gonna know in the mission statement how it's
we
all
need to
coming out.
really figure out what is the container.
Yeah.
And so I guess part of that will be vetted out in the conversation you're all gonna have next
Yeah.
week. It could include.
Can we start the conversation later to have you be here or something, or is that
I
something?
can't make it at all that night.
Oh.
What about the idea of everyone also coming up with a mission statement that they feel meets what it is this objective is?
'Cause I would never
Yeah.
do that.
So
I'm
many,
a founder, I would never do
and
that.
that's okay. If you don't have those ideas, that's fine. But with so many people here, and I mean, it's going to be so hard to craft the perfect
Yeah.
thing. But if we have ideas that everyone generates, there's going to be things like, yeah, that one rocks, and that one really hits it, or let's just merge those two together.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I think the more we do
Why don't we
on
work it on
our time, it's
Facebook
gonna
then?
be
Why don't we
more
just do it on
beneficial.
Facebook?
And I'm-
We know the last time I was with a group that tried to do a mission statement, only 4 or 5 people came with their ideas.
Yeah.
And merging them was a nightmare, because that's the line didn't go with that line, and then people's feelings got hurt that
Yeah.
theirs was getting more used and less. I think bubble charting and seeing what worked with people, it's just too hard to merge that many sets of text.
I
And on Facebook,
I think
even
that's
worse.
very reasonable, and really, I don't think we want as much a mission statement as we want just sort of like an understanding of what that overarching umbrella is.
Exactly. I want to know what that banner is, and I
Yeah.
want to know what I can and can't do. Is it in alignment with what this
Yeah.
group is trying to do?
Yeah.
Values.
And you know, maybe
That's
this whole
direction.
conversation, maybe part of what the banner includes is personal development, business development, and wellness, like, and then sales gets right under there, because we're talking about, probably a lot of us are dealing with entrepreneurs that have whatever they need to deal with in terms of their entrepreneurial efforts to develop their business. So maybe that just went into the mission.
Yeah.
Maybe that just went into the umbrella, and that's what we all would have to agree on is, are we doing human development, business development, and wellness? Are we, if it gets too disparate, I think it loses its its punch a
I
little.
agree with that.
If it gets too
Yeah.
spread out, it loses its
Yeah.
punch a little.
Limited, yeah.
Yeah.
So why don't we just add, like you said, why don't we, take a Facebook and why don't we, I'm just gonna put out there that we put a topic and then people will just add to the topic and say what they say. Let's not have it be let's have it be a safe conversation where we're bringing our own thoughts and we approach it as though this is my thought and we don't have any debate on what's being
Or get
said.
attached to it.
Yeah, let's not be
If we get
attached
too
to it
attached to
and not
then we're in
debate
trouble.
that we understand that everybody's just brainstorming. Everybody's just putting a sentence or two or five or whatever up there
Right.
and it's simply our thoughts and leave it at that and then we'll look and see where that takes us. How about that?
Yeah, so I'm not saying, you know, Michelle, that idea sucks.
Yeah.
And you know what?
Well, you can say it to me because.
And he will, Michelle, and he will.
So
That's why I asked, that's why I invited him. Should we just say that Wednesdays in general will be our
Yeah.
nights to collect? So I'll just know to reserve those nights until
Yeah.
we get ourselves organized.
Yeah.
So just let's like loosely hold Wednesday nights as our collection nights for a while until we're really kind of off and running. And I'm sorry that I'll miss it next Wednesday.
I know we're gonna.
I'm really.
So
You'll be
Your
here in
Honor, we
spirit,
have
I
to say-
know. You
Huh?
will. You'll be here in spirit.
Oh, I'll be totally somewhere else.
Okay,
I'll be exactly where I'm not.
Guys, can you never go?
We got somebody guys, we have somebody.
I'm sorry, before we all go, thank you. I just wanted to point out one thing, but that's just my thought about sales and coaching and everything, because I know what you're coming from. But selling, just marketing or whatever, I know it's taking, right? It's just including like a very derogatory taking. I think we're all in the business of coaching and counseling, so just because we are in this business, we are not in the business of taking. We are the business of giving. So just because we will promote, let's say, each other, okay, this person is doing on sleeping, this person is doing on personality, this person is doing, it's not selling anything. It's just letting people know, you know what, if you're interested, if you need help, for example, in developing your business, this is the occasion, right? So you can find help right here. So you're giving not only to yourself, but also to the other person.
I think
That's why it's completely different between sales, and I think it's just we are caught up in the terminology. Because sales for me, I don't want to sell anything, okay? I want to help.
Right.
I'm not in the business to make money. If I want to be, you know, I will be staying an attorney and I would not care about these people.
I totally understand, and I have no part of me that dislikes sales. I mean, I need it.
I
We
know.
all
Likes
need it.
me, huh?
I'm
People
really
salespeople.
I'm just talking about the identity that is us.
Right.
And having a clear enough identity that other people will
See,
get it.
Let's complete the conversation. If anybody wants to stay and talk, because we got 3 people standing up and I don't know if they have to leave.
Yeah.
So let's complete the conversation. So
Well, Rob and I wrote over together.
What time is it?
we're at 8, it's like 8:10, 8:15. So let's complete the meeting and a couple ways to complete the meeting would be, first off, is everybody in, is everybody not? Is everybody in?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody's in,
All in.
okay.
All in.
All in. Website? Do you want to hear about this thing, or you want me to talk to you?
Let's talk about that
separate-
afterwards.
offline?
Let's talk, if
Okay.
anybody wants to stay afterwards, let's talk about that. So, our next steps are to, us to post names and to post mission statement ideas. We'll meet here next Wednesday at 6:30.
8:29.
Okay.
How about everybody post their contact information so we can all communicate with you?
It'll all be on the Facebook site, everybody. So far, I think everybody's in on that Facebook site. So thank you very much. God bless you guys and,
Yay, it's gonna be great. This is gonna be awesome, Martine. Good job, founder of ours.
You so totally